So I'm going to show how we can use the skin modifier to make characters and be able to pose them. So first I'm going to start with this cube. I'm just going to hit tab. I'm going to press A to make sure I select everything. Let me press M, and I'm just going to merge it at center. So we should have 1 point here. And I'm going to just go to our modifier tab, and I'm going to add a mirror, right? And I'll just look on the y-axis, so I'm just going to press the green dot so that I'm mirroring on the x-axis, right? So we'll do that. I'm also going to add a skin. So our dot should turn into a square now. Also in our mirror, where it says the merge, that 0.001, I'm just going to make that 0.1. So that would let us, so we'll make it so that this point doesn't have to be in the center to merge. So that will help us out. And last thing I'll do is I'll just add a subdivisional surface and maybe pump that up to 2. So if I scroll down, just pump that up to 2. And now I'll have something that looks like that. I can just press E to extrude, and I'll just pull that out here. And I'm going to put wireframe on also, so that toggles right up here. So right now you could see this red circle around, so it's saying that this is the root. And before I go any further, I just want to select that center point, and I want to make that the root. So if we go to our skin modifier right here, I'm just going to make this the root. So make root. And hopefully that works. So I'm just going to start pulling this point down like this. And this is going to be like the legs. So I'm just changing the camera view, and I'm going to pull that out. That's going to be my foot. So if we press N, we'll get some more options over here. So we'll have radius X, radius Y, and you could see I could start like squishing this down and kind of like making it look like a shoe or a foot. And I could do that for everything, you know, kind of set my shapes. I'm just going to move this forward, make it kind of look like the knees. If I want to add a new point, so maybe I want an ankle. So I'm just going to click that. I could do a Control R and just kind of put it in there, and that could be kind of my ankle. That way, you know, we could do something like that. So I'll grab this middle point. And I'm just gonna pull this up like this, and you could see that's gonna be like my chest, and I could pull another one up, have some more chest. Maybe we have, you know, a couple for the neck, and maybe, you know, one for the head, right? Something like that. I could go over here, right? This could be where my shoulders are, so I'll just pull that out. Maybe we'll have a couple for the shoulders. And we could start pulling out for the arm, right? So we'll say this is the arm. Maybe this is the wrist, and this is going to be the palm of the hand. So now we can look over. I'm going to look over at the top, right? And I'll just start pulling, you know, I could pull one out for the thumb, and then I could pull some out for the fingers, right? Something like that. And I'm just going to hold shift and select these three, and then I'm just going to pull those out with E, and that's going to be like my fingers. So we could scale stuff by doing Control A, right? So you could see I could scale that down. I could bring another point out here for the thumb. Maybe do Control A. Shrink that down, maybe do one more. Right, so there's our thumb. Here's our fingers. Maybe I'll do, you know, another one. Something like that. Do Control A. Scale these down. You know, now we have really long fingers. Maybe that's not what I want exactly, I think. But, you know, I'm just going to push those in a little. Right? Okay, great. And you could adjust them. And we have like a hand. Right? Pretty simple. Say I want... Well, he's looking pretty alien. There we go. Got his nice flat feet here. Oh, so let's mark this as the root. That'll be our foot. Right. We could start scaling things up. So say maybe you want them to be a little thicker. We could do Control A on some of these. Right. We could also change it here. Could get some extra thickness. Maybe we'll get some over here. Give him some hips. Right, maybe I want his legs to be a little longer. Right. Okay. Maybe you want his chest to be a little bigger. Or we could get his head to be a little bigger too. Right. Okay, so now he has a head. We could also do things like bevel. If we do Shift Control B, we could do something like that. So we beveled his neck a little. Maybe we want him to have more of a jaw, so I can move that a little bit forward. Right. Maybe we want him to have some more shoulder. So I could do something like that. Right. Move that around, give him maybe a bit of belly. Maybe I'll bring that down a little. Right. Alright, so we have something. Alright, let's move this back. Great. And I'm just going to scale his thumb, Control A. Just scale that down a little bit. And we have a nice hand. You know, so we have something that's looking pretty good as a character. Alright. You know, you could change these proportions and do other things. But what's really cool about this, so once we have this, I'm just gonna confirm our mirror. So let me get out of edit mode, and I'm just gonna apply that. So you could see we have this create armature, right? So if I do that, you see now we have a kind of a rig, right? And what I could do now is I could go to object mode, or I mean, I could go to pose mode, and you could see I could start rotating some of these bones, and our character can start being posed. Right, so I could do something like that. I could lift his leg up. I could bring it back, right? We have an ankle, so I could rotate his foot. Do something like that, you know. I could even just, you know, let's try to give him a fun pose. I guess it's just rotating, so I can rotate like this. So let's make him posed like maybe he's punching the ground real quick. Right. Alright, so I could grab each of these fingers. And I can do some, if I go to individual origins, I should be able to rotate them in like a closed fist. Alright. I could grab his thumb and do the same thing. Right. We could grab his arm. So, you know, now we got our guy in a cool, like, hero pose, right? Nice. So we could do fun stuff like that. And then, you know, I could take this into sculpting and sculpt some fun stuff on here, but this is one way we can, like, get a quick character, get some poses, and then, you know, bump it into sculpting and, you know, sculpt out some fun things, right? So I could just like click this guy and duplicate. So now that I have this duplicated, I can just apply some of this stuff. And now I have a duplicate of my guy posed, right? And I could take this and I could go into sculpting. I could sculpt him out, give him details, give him a face, do other things, texture him, and have like fun characters to play with. All right, so that's going to be the end of this, and I want you guys to try this during class.